Hey, this is Corey, and today we're going to talk about tracking your ranking in Google. So there are several different ways that you can track your ranking, and I'm going to give you a few different options today. And I want you to keep in mind that these may not be exactly the same or exactly accurate for everyone, but I want to give you these options so that you have multiple ways to check on your ranking, and you should always cross-check to make sure that you're getting the best, most accurate results. Okay, so what I have on my screen right now is Search Console. We're not going to start with that. We're going to come back to that at the end because it's going to always be the most accurate and consistent answer across the board because it comes directly from Google. And we're going to dig into that in the end of this video, but I want to give you a few other ways first. So the first thing is I'm using the Chrome browser here, and if I click up here and go to New Incognito window, this will open up a window that does not load my personal preferences, and I'm not logged in automatically. Now, one thing to note is that even when you're incognito, it's going to still use your location to bias your results. So if you are using the internet in a specific city, it will still recognize that you're in that city, and it will still bias your results. So like, for example, if I just type in wedding photographers, if I can spell, and don't type in anything else, just like that, notice how it still brings up my map here, Colombia. It knows that I'm in Colombia because of my internet, my IP address. So the location will still be biased. However, the preferences will not. So in other words, because of my search history or because of my account preferences and who I'm connected to on Google Plus or through Gmail, Google may serve up results that are personalized to me based on preferences. Now, those will be stripped out in incognito window. However, location bias will still be a factor. So someone using incognito in your city will still get different results than someone using incognito in a different city. While we're on the topic of incognito, if you're using Firefox, you can go here and go to New Private Window. And it's the same idea. Let's just do a check here. Wedding photographers. Oh my goodness, why did it go to Yahoo? Well, that's not what I wanted. I don't use Firefox very much. And you can see, same thing, it's still showing me Columbia SC. Okay, so that's good to know, and notice that sometimes your browser may give you different results than a different browser. Things are going to be different. Like if I check on a phone right now, even using incognito, it's still going to give me slightly different results. Mobile results are different than desktop results. You have to check it different ways across the board to really get an accurate picture of where you are, other than using Search Console, which we'll get to in a few minutes. Okay, so let's just do a check here and say, I'm going to check two different keywords today. So we're going to check wedding photographers, Columbia SC. Actually, let's do in Columbia SC, even though the difference should be very minimal. We're just going to do that to be consistent. And then Columbia SC wedding photographers. These are just two keywords that I picked because I have a website that ranks for these. And you can see incognito, I'm number 2 on the map on each of these, and also number 6 here in the organic results for each of these. Now, it wouldn't always be the same for terms like this. I mean, you can see that the results are slightly different. The map results, actually, they're the same today. They're not always the same. And then the organic results are slightly different. But my site falls in the same place on both of those. Okay, so number 6 is kind of the incognito test. And what I found earlier when looking is that this actually kind of lined up with all of the different tools that I was checking with. But notice that I am here in the second place in the map pack, and that's going to be important to note when we look at Search Console. Okay, so after using just regular incognito searches, which are fine for just kind of generally checking when you want to do something fast and you just need to get a quick idea of where you stand. I use incognito all the time, but I don't use it as the only method for checking because I do know that it could be biased based on my location, and I just want to make sure that I'm checking with some other tools to make sure that things line up nationally and even locally to what I'm seeing when I search incognito. Okay, so let's look at a few other tools. Now, this is one that I have not used extensively. Actually, I saw this one a long time ago, and then I was reminded of it recently by my friend Dylan Howell, who's in the Fuel Your Photos Facebook group too. And he mentioned that he used this one, and I looked at it again, and I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of cool. And so basically, this one lets you, if you sign up for free, you can sign up for a free account. It's serplab.co.uk. You can check without signing up, just one at a time, and it doesn't track them. But you can also sign up for a free account and then add a few keywords, and it will check them every so often, I think every 24 hours, and it will keep a chart for you. And right now I put in these two same keywords, and I'm getting position number 6 on both of these, and I'm not sure if it checks more frequently than every 24 hours or not. I think it's every 24 hours. Again, I don't use this one very extensively. I just set this up because I looked at it again recently, and they ask you, if you want to buy another search bot. You don't need to do any of that. You can add multiple keywords and track them with a graph, which is nice. A lot of tools that do this, like tracking where they store the information and you can look at a graph, are paid tools, and this one is free and still gives you that functionality. There are paid options if you want to do extra things, but I don't recommend any of that. This is just a cool extra way to check if you want to save your data and be able to log in and see historical data. The next tool I'm going to show you is serps.com/tools/rank-checker. And this is a little confusing because this is serplab.co.uk and this is serps.com/tools/rank-checker. And this is one that I have used for a very long time, and I have found this one to be very accurate, and I like to use it for checking a single keyword just one at a time. The paid option lets you store things and check more than one at a time and all that kind of stuff, but it's a very expensive tool. But the free version is great, and it works very well. So what you can do here is, let's just type in wedding photographers in Columbia, SC. And you can either put in your domain, or you don't have to put in a domain. You can leave it blank and it will show you 250 results. You can set this to Google or Yahoo, and you can use desktop or mobile. And by the way, you can also change the Google to United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, like pretty much any of the different countries. I'm just going to leave it on United States. And then you could search from an exact location if you want. I have found when I tried this before that it was not extremely accurate, but they may have updated it since then. That was several months ago when I checked it. But I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. And of course, they're going to tell you about their paid software. This one is meant for professionals, and it's several $100s a month. But again, free version, you can do this. Again, here we can see a blaze photo at position number 6. What we'll do for the other one is I'll do Columbia SC wedding, and I'll leave this blank, and we'll just search. And I'll show you the difference. I'll let that one finish up there. I think these are funny sometimes. Okay, so and also this tells you search volume, and I've found that this search volume data here is actually very helpful and more useful than the current AdWords keyword planner data that has basically stripped out the volume. This is the average. It doesn't give you a range, and it may not be exactly accurate, but I have found that this lines up very well with some of the other tools that I know and trust. Okay, so what happens when you don't put in your own domain is that it just lists the sites, and you can see here it's my site in position number 6. But this is nice because then it shows you all of your competitors, all the way through. This shows 120 results. So that's nice to know as well. This is a very useful tool. I use this one all the time, and I trust it to be very accurate with the ranking. But again, you want to cross-check when possible. So far, every tool we've used has given me position number 6. Before I go over to Search Console, I'm actually going to show you one other that is a mobile app. I'm just going to pull this up. This has my phone attached to it, so I'm using my phone to do this. All right, so it's called SEO Edge, and I'm actually going to add a new profile, and we're just going to call this one ablazephoto.com. Keep it on United States Google, and we'll say done. All right, and then we're going to click on it, and then we're going to click on Add Keywords, and we'll add multiple. one per line. So we're going to do wedding in not DC. Let's see here. Okay, and then we'll click save. And then we can actually click on either of these keywords and it will load up, and it's telling me position number 6. Notice there that it is giving me this dot. It's going to start charting these out. Every time I check, it will add a new point to that chart. Check the other one. All you do is just log in or open the app and click on the keyword like right here. I guess you couldn't see where I was. Okay, so if we go back here, this is where you want to click on this keyword to get it to load a new check, and then it will add a point to that graph on each day whenever you check it and show you your progress over time. In the Facebook group, we actually had someone recently complaining that this is not very accurate for them. As you can see right now, for these two keywords, number 6 is exactly where I was showing up on all of the other tools. So use this as a way of checking conveniently and tracking, but also verify with other tools because it may not always be accurate. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the ultimate tool. The most accurate and concise data you're going to get is going to be from Google Search Console. However, there is one caveat that I've yet to find a way around, and there may be one, I just haven't researched it in depth yet, but let's look at that right now. So if we click right here on Search Analytics, this is just my dashboard whenever I logged into the correct version of my domain. Okay, so we're going to look here on my dashboard. Now, one thing to note is that up here I can turn on impressions, click-through rate, and position if I want. I'm just going to turn on impressions and position for right now. And a lot of my traffic here comes from places to take pictures and wedding venues because I have 2 popular blog posts that bring in a lot of traffic from those. But what I want to do is I want to find wedding photographers in Columbia SC and then Columbia SC wedding photographers. And so let's go ahead and scroll down here. We're going to go to, we're going to expand that to show 500 rows just so we have some more. And I'm going to do Control F, or you could do Command F on Mac, I believe. And that's just for find, and we can type in wedding photographers in, there it is, Columbia SC. We click on this one result and it will show us over 28 days the average position is 2 and has gotten 3 clicks and 85 impressions. That's not very impressive actually. And then if we click on set date range, so we click here on last 28 days, set date range to 90 days, we can see a graph over that period of time that there were 239 impressions on average position of 2.4 and 7 clicks. Okay, so that's wedding photographers in Columbia SC. Now if I want to go back, I can go here and just reset to top queries, and then I can search for Columbia SC wedding photographers. And notice this is a good way of checking. There was Columbia SC wedding photographer without the S. You could check back and forth between the two and see if you may perform differently, or one has a higher click-through rate, or one has more searches. And it's going to give you very accurate data if you're in similar positions on how many people are searching for that. Okay, so this one is giving me an average position of 5.8, which lines up very well with that 6 that I was saying earlier. But one thing to note is that whenever I'm looking at 90 days, the average position over 90 days may not be where I'm ranking now. See how I was ranking lower back here, and then I'm ranking higher up here. And by the way, when you see these like broken points all over the chart, that may be that you had no or very few impressions in that time. Like see how here there's 0 impressions? Well, there's no way for them to get data if there's 0 impressions. And so that's why the chart is broken like that. When you see it consistent, that means there are impressions on every day that they can have accurate data. Okay, so if we look at this over 28 days, we'll see that the average position was 3.8. That means that I was right. You know, the position is rising over time. And then I could even look at the past 7 days and see that the average position is 2.2. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said the map pack makes a big difference. Maybe I want to know where I'm ranking outside of the map pack. In that case, Search Console is not giving me an extremely accurate representation, because this is including that map pack result. So I'm in position 2 because I was the second result on the map, and Google considers that to be the second position here in this case in Search Console. And so since that's where I am ranking here, it tells me some good information, but also I may want to know more specifically where I'm showing up in the organic results, and then I would want to go back to one of the other tools or searching Incognito. A couple other things you can do here. You can go back to Search Analytics. That'll just kind of reset all of these things. And then I can go to Pages, and I can see, like, let's say I want to check just my home page to see how it's doing, and then I can click on Queries again after I've already selected my home page, and I can see which terms my home page is ranking for. And then maybe I want to copy these down and add these back into one of my other tools to verify positions over time in multiple tools. Now, Search Console will only keep 90 days stored, so that's one of the great reasons for having a tool like this that will let you save data for more than 90 days. And then, like I say, I can also do, I can look by device. I can see mobile, tablet, desktop, seeing which is getting more impressions and which position I'm in on different devices. I can also do web search, image search, or video search. So you might want to see how many image clicks you're getting. So I got 0 clicks from images, 162 impressions, let's say over 90 days. And let's not make it my home page. Let's just say all pages. So I got 71 clicks over 90 days to all of my pages from image search. Not too bad. And then, if I wanted, I could go back to Queries, and I could see here are the terms that people are searching that are bringing up my site for image search. There's a lot of information you can get from Search Console just by playing around with this and figuring out how to manipulate these filters to show you different things. So you'll have to play around with that. It's a very complex tool, and there are a lot of things you can do. So just take some time to learn Search Console. Maybe find some other tutorials and guides on Search Console on the internet. It will be your friend, and it will give you so much information about your website and the terms that you're ranking for and your position over time. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and you have a better idea on how to check your ranking, and know that it's not just as simple as a simple incognito search, because that does not always give the entire picture. And in this video, we were kind of fortunate enough that everything was very simple and accurate and right there on position 6, but you won't always find that. Sometimes things will be different based on where you're looking and which tool you're checking. So try to have several tools in your arsenal, and hopefully this was a good start for that, and letting you know which tools you should try. If you have any other favorite tools, I'd love to hear about them. So leave a comment here on the YouTube video, or come on over to the Fuel Your Photos Facebook group and let us know which tool you are using to check your ranking. All right, talk to you again soon.